Have you ever felt your mind wrapped in a thick, suffocating fog? Thoughts stumbling over one another, sluggish and dim, as if someone dimmed the lights inside your skull. You reach for a memory, and it slips away like smoke. You try to focus on the person speaking to you, but the words dissolve before they reach meaning. You are physically here, sitting at your desk, standing in the grocery line, lying in bed at 3 a.m. Yet you are nowhere at all. Disconnected from your own heartbeat, adrift from the vivid now. This is not mere distraction, this is exile from the only moment that has ever truly belonged to you. But what if I told you that a single skill cultivated in 7 deliberate days separated the titans of history from the sleepwalkers of the crowd? George Washington wielded it on the frozen banks of the Delaware River, Christmas night 1776, when every rational voice screamed retreat. Fog thicker than London pea soup cloaked the ice-choked water. His soldiers' boots were rags, their bellies empty, their cores bleeding out. Yet Washington stood at the prow of the lead boat, eyes fixed not on the storm but on the rhythm of the oars, breath steady, mind crystalline. In that presence he saw the impossible path, strike at dawn, surprise the Hessians, reverse the war. One decision, born of absolute mental clarity, rewrote the birth certificate of a nation. Steve Jobs summoned the same clarity in 2007, pacing backstage at Moscone West, heart racing beneath the black turtleneck. The iPhone prototype in his pocket kept dropping calls. Engineers whispered failure. The room beyond the curtain held 2,000 skeptics ready to bury Apple's reputation. Jobs closed his eyes, felt the cool metal in his palm and returned, not to panic, but to the breath. When he walked on stage, the glitches vanished. The demo flowed like water around stone. Presence of mind turned a near catastrophe into legend. Navy SEALs in the Hindu Kush, pinned by tracer fire, oxygen thinning at 10,000 feet, rely on it when the mission clock ticks past extraction and the radio crackles with abort. One operator, call sign Viking, later recounted the night his team leader whispered, "Box, breathe. Anchor to the now. 4 seconds in, 4 hold, 4 out." The world narrowed to the scent of cordite, the weight of the rifle, the pulse in his trigger finger. In that razor-thin present he spotted the shadow of the sniper on the ridge, saved 6 lives. This is not luck, not genetics, not superhuman grit. This is presence of mind. An ancient technology of consciousness, hoarded for centuries by Buddhist monks in Himalayan caves and Taoist hermits in bamboo groves, now democratized by science. A Harvard study tracked 27 ordinary adults for 1 week of targeted training. Brain scans revealed measurable thickening in the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain within 68 hours. Emotional regulation spiked. Decision latency under stress dropped 40%. The researchers' conclusion was blunt: the brain rewires the clarity faster than for any other trainable skill. Yet most of us stumble through life in first gear, Ferrari engine purring uselessly. Remember your last presentation? Heart jackhammering, slides blurring, voice cracking on the 3rd bullet point. Or the argument that detonated over nothing, words you vomited in fury, regretted before they hit the floor. Or the job interview where your mind blanked on the one question that mattered. These are not moral failures, they are neurological hijackings. The untrained mind defaults to survival scripts written in the Pleistocene, freeze, fight or flee, while the 21st century world demands nuance, creativity, grace. 2 pillars elevate the ordinary mind into the extraordinary, sati and wu wei. Over 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama abandoned silk robes for a Bodhi tree. He had every external comfort, yet felt hollow, a ghost in his own palace. One dawn, watching dew evaporate from a lotus leaf, he realized the chasm between physical presence and mental presence. The untrained mind, he saw, is a time machine, 47% of waking hours lost to past regret or future dread, according to modern fMRI data. You are rarely where your body is. You are rehearsing conversations that already ended or catastrophes that never arrive. Siddhartha's antidote was sati, the art of remembering to return. Not spaced-out daydreaming, but laser-focused engagement with the texture of the now, the taste of rice, the ache in a knee, the flicker of a stranger's eyes. Meanwhile, in ancient China, Lao Tzu observed water parting around river stones. It never strained, never cursed the obstacle, it simply found the path of least resistance. From this he distilled Wu-Wei effortless action, not laziness but such complete presence that response arises spontaneously, perfectly timed. Michael Jordan in the '97 finals flew ravaged, body screaming, yet the game slowed to syrup around him. Tom Brady in the fourth quarter, 70,000 voices roaring, yet he hears only the snap count and the grass under cleats. Serena at match point, every cell listening to the ball's spin. They are not forcing greatness, they are allowing it. When Sati meets Wu Wei, something alchemical occurs, a consciousness that neither drifts nor clutches. It observes, comprehends, then acts or refrains with impeccable precision. Neuroplasticity makes this attainable in days, not decades. Your brain is a city of traffic. Most citizens speed down the same cracked anxiety boulevards, defensive reaction freeways. Presence carve new superhighways, prefrontal cortex handshakes, amygdala, conscious choice overrides reflex. Dial-up becomes fiber optic. But theory is worthless without embodiment. The ancients knew this. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic, kept a journal by lamplight after governing an empire at war. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he wrote. Realize this, and you will find strength. He practiced in the Colosseum's roar, on plague-ridden battlefields, in the Senate's venom. Presence was not retreat, it was his sharpest sword. You do not develop this by reading. You forge it in the crucible of deliberate experience, like learning to balance on a bicycle. The wobble, the fall, the sudden glide. In 7 days you will ride. Day 1 begins the moment your eyes open. You will not need a monastery, a cushion, or an hour of silence. You need only the object that already owns your attention, your phone. The average human lifts it 96 times a day, once every 10 waking minutes. Most often without intention, a reflex born of boredom, anxiety, or the phantom buzz in your pocket. Today, every reach becomes a dojo. Here is the practice, deceptively simple. Before your thumb touches glass, pause for 3 deliberate seconds. In that breath, ask one question. Why am I picking this up right now? Do not judge the answer. Do not negotiate. Simply notice. Is it habit, escape, curiosity? Fear of missing a message that will not change your life? The pause is a wedge driven between stimulus and response, a hairline fracture in the monolith of autopilot. Each of the 96 cracks widens the gap where awareness slips in. By noon you will feel the first tremor. You catch yourself mid-scroll, thumb hovering, realizing you opened Instagram to avoid the discomfort of a blank moment. By evening, the spillover begins. You taste the garlic in your dinner for the first time in months. You hear the actual words your partner says instead of the script you assumed. You notice the exact moment tension coils in your shoulders during a work call. The phone was never the point. It was the Trojan horse that smuggled presence into the fortress of routine. Day 2 weaponizes the dead zones of modern life. Traffic lights, grocery queues, the endless hold music of customer service. These are not interruptions, they are secret training grounds. Here you deploy the 4-7-8 breath, an ancient Vajrayana technique refined by Tibetan monks who sat in caves where blizzards howled for months. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts, expanding the belly like a bellows. Hold for 7, feeling the pores bloom behind the sternum. Exhale from pursed lips for 8, slow as incense smoke. 1 cycle takes 20 seconds. 3 cycles take 1 minute. Do them whenever impatience rises. The physiology is ruthless in its elegance. The extended exhale flips the vagus nerve, shifting you from sympathetic fight-flight to parasympathetic rest-digest in under 30 seconds. But the deeper alchemy is psychological. You transmute irritation into strength. The red light that once triggered a silent curse becomes a temple bell calling you home to your breath. The grocery line that bred resentment becomes a laboratory for equanimity. By the end of day 2, a curious inversion occurs. You begin to crave the red light, the hold music, the delay, because each is now a rep in the gym of presence. Obstacles reveal themselves as disguised allies. Day 3 elevates you to the witness stand. You will cultivate what the Zen masters call shikantaza, just sitting, just observing, and apply it in the most treacherous arena, conversation with another human. Choose any interaction, but the spicier the better. The colleague who passive-aggresses, the teenager who eye-rolls, the parent who presses every button installed in childhood. As words fly, maintain a sliver of awareness that hovers above the fray like a hawk over a battlefield. Notice the heat rising in your chest, the micro-twitch at your jaw, the exact sentence that hooks your ego. Do not suppress, do not fix. Simply label anger arising, tightness in throat, urge to interrupt. This is metacognition, thinking about thinking, and it is the neurological equivalent of pulling the emergency brake on a runaway train. A samurai of the Sengoku era, Miyamoto Musashi, wrote in The Book of Five Rings, "Perception is strong and sight weak." In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distanced view of close things. He practiced this by dueling with live blades while maintaining awareness of the wind in the bamboo behind his opponent. You practice it over coffee when your boss criticizes your report. The hawk's eye view grants you choice: respond from wisdom or react from wound. Most people never discover this third option exists. Day 4 is the gateway to Wu Wei, the watercourse way. Select one mundane act, washing dishes, folding laundry, walking to the mailbox, and perform it as if it were the Tao Te Ching incarnate. No music in your ears, no podcast, no mental rehearsal of tomorrow's meeting, only the task, the body, the moment. Feel the warmth of sudsy water, the weight of each plate, the subtle shift of balance as you pivot. When the mind races ahead, I'm late, I should hurry, gently return it to the sensation of sponge against ceramic. This is not mindfulness as moral virtue, it is neurological reprogramming. Resistance is friction. Friction generates heat. Heat scatters attention. Wu Wei is hydrodynamic, zero drag, maximum flow. Watch what happens when you fold a towel with full presence. The cloth seems to settle into perfect rectangles by itself. Time dilates. 3 minutes feel like 30. The nervous system learns the taste of non-striving and the lesson leaks. Later, when a client email lands like a grenade, your fingers hover over the keyboard and, without forcing calm, the reply composes itself, concise, kind, lethal in its clarity. The samurai called this Mushin no Mind. You will call it Tuesday. By the close of day 4, the techniques are no longer exercises, they are reflexes. The phone pause triggers automatically. The 4-7-8 breath arrives unbidden at the first spike of adrenaline. The inner hawk circles every conversation. Wu Wei infuses even the act of tying your shoes. Neural superhighways, laid in 96 micro-moments a day, now carry traffic at light speed. You are not practicing presence, you are beginning to inhabit it. Day 5 installs the emotional radar. Every 2 hours, a soft chime from your watch or phone, set it now, summons you to a 30-second scan. Close your eyes if the world allows, if not, let the gaze soften. Ask 3 questions in rapid succession. What am I feeling? Where do I feel it in the body? Is this energy serving me or draining me? Do not fix, do not journal, do not Instagram the insight. Simply name the weather system moving through you. Tightness in solar plexus pressure. Deadline, dread. Naming is taming. The amygdala quiets when the cortex labels it storm. By the 5th check-in, you will notice patterns. The 2 p.m. slump that masquerades as hunger. The 6 p.m. irritation that is actually fatigue in disguise. You are no longer possessed by moods. You are their cartographer. Day 6 is the sacred pause in real time. Any stimulus that once yanked you like a puppet, criticism, flirtation, bad news, now triggers a single full breath. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4. In that 4-second canyon, the prefrontal cortex reboots. You are no longer the echo of conditioning, you are the author of the next sentence. A Navy SEAL instructor in Coronado calls this the tactical breath. He teaches it to candidates who will later kick in doors in Fallujah. 1 breath, 1 choice, 1 life saved. You use it when your teenager screams, "I hate you," and the old wound roars to retaliate. The breath is the drawbridge between castle and moat. Cross it, and you speak from the throne room, not the dungeon. Day 7 is integration. No new techniques. The 7 strands, pause, breath, witness, flow, scan, gap, choice, have braided themselves into a single rope. You wake and the rope is already in your hands. You brush your teeth in Wu Wei. The toothbrush glides like a calligraphy brush. You answer email with the inner hawk perched on your shoulder. Traffic is a moving meditation. By nightfall, the exercises vanish because they are no longer exercises. They are the operating system. You do not do presence of mind. You are presence of mind. Stanford's 90-second rule now works for you, not against you. When stress spikes, the amygdala still lights up. Evolution is not negotiable, but it no longer seizes the wheel. A 40-year Tibetan meditator scanned while a firecracker exploded beside his ear showed zero cortisol surge. Asked how, he laughed. The bang is just a bang. I watch it come. I watch it go. You are not there yet, but after 7 days your alarm system has a dimmer switch. Here is the secret technique, forged in the crucible of 1,000 years, invisible to the world, the 4-4-4+ anchor. Box breath, inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4. Micropause, 3 heartbeats of pure observation. Sensory trifecta, name one thing you see, one you feel, one you hear. Blue mug warmth in palms, distant siren. Total time, 12 seconds. Use it mid-negotiation when the client says, your price is insane. Use it courtside when your child misses the free throw. Use it in the oncology waiting room when the doctor walks in with the envelope. No one knows you just rewired your brain. Steve Jobs used a version of this in 2011, days before his death. A friend visited the Palo Alto house. Jobs sat propped in bed, skeletal, voice a whisper. The friend asked if he was afraid. Jobs closed his eyes, breathed the box, anchored to the cotton sheet under his fingers. No, he said, eyes clear as the first Macintosh screen. Curious, presence until the final pixel. Epictetus, the enslaved Stoic who became Rome's most sought-after teacher, said it plain, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. He taught it while his master twisted his leg in a vice. The bone snapped. Epictetus smiled. I told you it would break. Presence is not the absence of pain, it is the refusal to add suffering. 7 days from now you will stand at a crossroads you cannot yet see. Someone will provoke you or seduce you or devastate you. The old programming will reach for the wheel, but the new superhighway will blow brighter. You will feel the gap, take the breath, anchor to the now, and choose. The words that leave your mouth will be yours, not your ancestors'. The decision you make will carry the weight of full consciousness. And in that moment you will understand why Washington crossed the ice, why Jobs unveiled the impossible, why the SEAL pulled the trigger on the ridge. This is not fantasy, it is neurophysiology meeting ancient mastery. The choice is binary, another year on the cracked anxiety boulevard or 7 days to lay the fiber optic of presence. The fog is lifting, the path is lit, the only question is how brightly you are willing to burn.